What up, dudes? Just did a walk around of the exterior, and now we'll do some interior stuff. Give you a little walk around of the outside. I just did a video talking about the engine and some of the specs, overall length, horsepower, brakes, approach departure angles, stuff like that. Now I figured I'd give you a view of the inside. It does have your keyless entry. As soon as you put your hand in, if the key's on you, it'll unlock. Pretty much work my way over from the left to right. These are power folding mirrors. You press the button, they both go in. Pretty sweet. Press it again, they go out. There's the blind spot monitoring right there, which is kind of a silly spot if you ask me. I think they should have put it on the mirror somewhere, maybe in the corner would have been best. It's kind of out of your field of vision right there, but that's okay. Whatever. Let's see. So we do have memory seats. These are a 10-way power driver seat. So if you press the one, it'll correspond to this key fob. It has a driver 1 and a driver 2. All right. So if your power mirrors are set to the left like this, and you put it in reverse, that mirror is going to tilt down. Okay, back in park, it auto tilts back. One thing to note, if this is in the center, neither of those mirrors will auto tilt down. If it's in the right, just the right one's going to auto tilt down in reverse. So I leave it on the left, obviously, since that's probably the mirror I'm going to be looking in. Let's see. Power windows, power locks, power doors, of course. This is to lock the windows in the rear. Auto down and up just for the front. Both sides. The rear are not. The rear right here, not auto down or up. Let's see. We talked about the seat stuff, the mirrors, the mirror controls, the auto tilt mirror, econ button. I've talked a lot about this already in a bunch of my videos. This helps out with your gas mileage a lot, but it does make this vehicle kind of lethargic. Kind of makes it slow off the line. Not a lot of throttle response, but for 5 extra miles per gallon, I think it's a good trade. I use it a lot. Check out my other videos if you want to see the fuel mileage I've been getting with this thing. It's been super good. So, parking sensors, you can just turn those on and off like that. Pretty self-explanatory. Lane departure, on and off, pretty self-explanatory. These other two are not self-explanatory. So this one is your brake mitigation. So if I press it, nothing happens. So that's great. So they want it to be a little bit more difficult to turn that off. So you got to hold it down, and the brake collision mitigation goes off, and then hold it down again, and it goes back on. Same with your traction control. Hold it down, stuck vehicle assist. Hold it down again, goes back to normal. Let's see, down here in the door, we also have some. Here's your gas door, and then there's your trunk. It's like a little cubby right there. You could probably get a can in pretty easy. probably put your phone down in some of these. Lots of little cubbies in this thing. Of course, way down here is going to be your hood release. Still has a manual parking brake. And I wish they would have put the electric one, but whatever. Down here you can see your steering wheel adjusts up and down. Actually, this is just left in and out, I should say. So that's not bad. Let's see. Left stock. Your left turn signal stock, obviously. Here's the auto headlights. When I first got it, it was in the off position. But I'm so used to having auto headlights, I thought I'd leave it in the auto position because I don't want to forget about it. This right here is your fog lights. All LED lights on the outside, by the way, but not the inside, which is just silly. Anyways, so this left stock is really self-explanatory. Obviously, turn signals, but this right one over here is tricky, and we'll get to that one in a second. So we got a left paddle shifter right here to downshift, and that's in the sport mode. So let's see right here, phone controls. You hit it once and it kind of just goes through your contacts. You can always hit the back button to get out of it. The volume up and down, pretty self-explanatory. Not bad, not bad. This is your voice commands. So that one's pretty easy. Home button always takes you to the home screen, and you do have some other features here. Navigation, press enter for navigation menu, go home, blah blah blah. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. We'll hit the home button again. Trip computer. The head unit trip computer is a lot nicer, but this one's saying 24.3 out of that 1,219 miles. So that's still pretty good though. It just keeps going up and up, by the way, and I've got lots of videos talking about that. Let's see, what else? All-wheel drive torque. I usually drive around in this torque mode. It has little blue bars on the outsides of the wheels to show which tire is getting power delivered. So really like that mode. Let's see what else. Phone, we talked about navigation, now playing, pretty self-explanatory. Back, maintenance, tire pressure, pretty standard. Oil life, 90% oil, that's nice. Settings, average, range apps, show hide apps. You can just get rid of stuff if you didn't want to see it. Let's see, show tachometer, we'll just get rid of that that top tachometer. What else? Units, you can go to kilometers if you want. Blank, we don't care about that. Bluetooth audio, pretty sweet, pretty self-explanatory. I usually leave it in this mode right here. I like the gauges, easy to use, really self-explanatory. The menu is probably a little bit easier to use than the Silverado, but super nice. Let's see, we'll move right along here. Right side, you can turn on your adaptive cruise controlling, keep assist, and of course here's the most important button for Montana, the heated steering wheel. This is lane keep assist right here. This is your distance for your adaptive cruise control. You can set your speed right there. Cancel is pretty self-explanatory. Here's where it gets tricky. This right stock here has got a lot going on. I wish they would have put the rear wiper. I wish they would have put that like down here somewhere, somewhere else, because it's straight confusing. So first of all, here's the mist. Okay, and so these are talking about moving the stock up and down. So if I go up, the wipers went, yeah, and the it's in the off position right now. One more time down is the low position, and then 2 times is the high position. So this auto right here makes it even more confusing because this does have the auto windshield wipers. So basically it just senses the rain and it'll adjust it at an intermittent stage, so it won't go full high in auto. So it's a little confusing, but the most confusing part is these right here are talking about the up and down on the stock, and auto is just talking about this intermittent range. And then this over here is actually talking about the rear window. So the rear window has a, let's see if I can get it to focus, has a intermittent setting, and then an on, and then it's got a mist too. So this right here is just the rear window. So that thing, I think they could have done a better job with that. It's just confusing. So this little plus minus right here is to turn your gauge brightness up or down. Pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory. Push button start, you guys know what that is. You've seen it lots. One thing that I've noticed with this push button transmission is you really have to have your foot on the brake pretty hard, pretty firm for this to shift. I know Nathan Adlin on TFL just despises this with a passion, but I really don't mind it. I actually kind of like the push button transmission. I know. All right, head unit, we're not going to go through everything. We'll go through some stuff. It's got a home button, and you can rearrange the apps by just holding on to there and moving them around. Pretty easy, pretty simple. It does kind of have a top menu. Here's my phone stuff, navigation. It's got the full Garmin, pretty sweet. FM, pretty self-explanatory. Let's go back home. XM radio works awesome. One thing I would like with the Bluetooth audio is it just shows a Bluetooth signal instead of like some artwork for Pearl Jam, let's say. Some head units will show an artwork on here, kind of like XM radio does, like that. So that'd be cool, but whatever. Let's see. Let's go back to the home setting. Trip computer. This trip computer is sweet. So I'll try to keep this video going fast because it's already at 13 minutes, but you can tell there's a lot going on here. Trip meter, pretty awesome. 23. I was in town. I just went like, I don't know, 3 or probably maybe 10 miles or less. It was all in town. 23. That's actually pretty good with the air conditioning blasting. Navigation works good. Settings, there's a ton here. System, all talks about all that stuff. Connections, obviously just your phone. It does have Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. Vehicle, that's probably the coolest one. Has a lot of settings in there. We can make a whole nother video on just this. Camera is pretty sweet. Here's the rear camera. You can change it around a little bit. I think that's the, let's see, that's the one I usually have right there. All right. HVAC, pretty self-explanatory. Up, down, hot, cold. Turn everything off right there. Turn everything back on right there. Auto is going to kick up my fan to high. And then it'll try to bring it down to 60 in here because that's what I have. This is the recirc button. Typically robs a little bit of more power. This is considered to be a 3-zone setting because of the rear. People in the back have their own settings back there. It does have front defrost, rear defrost, dual climate control, heated and cooled seats, power outlet, 2.5 amp charging. This wireless charger is pretty much worthless, so I turned it off. Sorry, Honda, but it is. 2 more cup holders. This gloss black, hard to keep clean, but whatever. Big storage cubbies. A dampened glove box, which is cool. Let's see. I think it's got a 540 watt stereo system. It's because of the lead, it's a little nicer. So let's see if I can find that real quick for you. Yeah, I'm not seeing it, but pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. 540 watts, 10 speakers, including a subwoofer. So that's pretty good. Here's the sunroof. Pretty nice. If I press this once right here, it tilts it. Press it forward to close the tilt. Of course, all the way back opens it up. Pretty cool. Forward closes it. These are just your dome light settings. If you want it to come out on with the door, it does have the garage door openers right here. It's called the Home Link. Pretty cool. 5 white visors are lighted, and they do extend. Sunglasses with the rear view. Pretty cool. And let's see. We'll check out the back seat real quick. All right, so can turn that on. It's got full controls back here. You can get it cooler or warmer. You got your own fan controls back there, right here. It's pretty cool. Do have heated seats, no cooled, but it does have heated seats. A couple chargers, and then the 115 volt down there. You can put, so there's a cell phone holder right here. Pretty cool. Let's see if it fits a iPhone XS Max. It's a little tight, but it works. 2 cup holders back here, a couple down there. It's got the window shades that come out and lock right there. Pretty sweet. Keeps it a little cooler in here. Does have some dome lights back here. One kind of weird thing is it's got a spot for the the middle seat shoulder restraint right there. Couple more cup holders. Really flat floor. I got the all weather liners because I really liked them. One thing we didn't talk about was these ratcheting armrests. Those are sweet. I really like those a lot. Does have quite a bit of cargo room back here. The Honda Pilot has 6 inches more of room than this, and obviously the Honda Pilot has the 3rd row. really nice. Does have the rear defrost. Does have another dome light back there. And we're at 20 minutes for this video, so if you want to see any more, let me know. And I've got lots of videos, basically owner stuff, just what I like, what I don't